see if we kind of come across anything else now after that other encounter. Oh, shit! Shit!
Bloody Nun! We are talking about the 2018 ultra-low budget movie, Bloody Nun. This one is written and directed by Will Cazado Jr. Now, since we've had the Conjuring spin-off, The Nun, come out in 2018, there has of course been a rash of B-movie cash-ins that I've reviewed on this channel, and here we have another one. However, this one was originally known as The Occultist 2, The Demons. Now, the apparent budget of this one, according to IMDb, is $100,000. Now, let me tell you what I think the actual budget was. If you reach behind your sofa, let's have a good old reach behind there, see what you can grab, about 50p, 50 cents or whatever, that's about the budget of this movie. Now, the story of this one is we have essentially 6 people that comprise of 3 different groups, all of whom we're assuming are YouTubers who have been invited to stay in this particular house to prove the existence of the paranormal. And whoever wins will ultimately get $1 million prize. And this has been set up by this character who has come kind of nefarious purposes, and he has murdered a nun that we see at the beginning of the movie. And yeah, so there's these 3 groups of YouTubers ultimately, and they all kind of want to capture the kind of evidence of ghost hunting, etc. And of course there is really a malevolent spirit, potentially even a demon there. Now, why do I sound so unenthusiastic about this movie? Well, let me tell you one thing. You only get one life. One go round in this life. And in that life, you only get so many hours. Let me save you the hour and a half that it takes to watch this movie, because, man, this movie is the pits. Like I said, the budget here is ridiculously low. In fact, I mean, it really doesn't seem like it's made as a film. It just made, oh, someone's got a camera and made it for a joke, is what it actually seems like. So the best thing about this movie, let's go with any positives. The cover art's cool. Yeah, that's about it. So let's start at the beginning. So we actually have a intro that has nothing to do with the rest of the plot. Nothing to do with it whatsoever. And this is by other YouTuber Shawn Phillips, who you may know as Coolduder, showing apparently that he has a ghost in his house, and he hits us with such info nuggets like, when you turn the light out, it's dark in the night. Gee, thanks. I can see why you've become a popular YouTuber. Anyway, so he's basically just having an advert for his own channel. Great. I mean, they've obviously gone, oh, would you do this for X amount of money? This is where the budget's gone, and we'll tack it onto the film just to say that there's some type of name attached to it. The next most famous actor is Mark Fulldart, and looking at his IMDb page, he has a fair amount of credits as an uncredited extra in a bunch of TV shows and low-budget movies, and that's your biggest actor here. So the acting, yeah, it's like you'd expect. Count how many times, if you want to have a drinking game with this movie, this is not a found footage film, although you'll be forgiven for thinking so, the amount of times the actors actually look at the camera. Because it's just, it looks like they do it so much it almost feels like it's a found footage film, and it isn't. Maybe they should have made it a found footage film. So the acting is universally terrible by pretty much all of the actors. Now, this movie's not a long film, thank God. It's, you know, I think it's an hour and 50 minutes or so. Literally the first hour, there's nothing supernatural happens outside of the intro with Coolduder. So, but we have essentially an hour of annoying characters bickering. So if you like to kind of like watch an hour of fake YouTubers bickering and acting like little bitches, then cool, this is definitely the movie for you, because that's all that happens within that first hour. Then we kind of get to the last kind of like 15 minutes or so, and they actually do a seance in this house. This is where you'll see your first real kind of evidence of any type of supernatural. And we have this demonic nun appears. However, if you see the cover, it looks pretty scary. But in reality, it literally looks like a sexy Halloween nun costume, and someone's just literally got some Halloween makeup and even put fake blood, like dripping down, like pencil fake blood dripping down the mouth and stuff like that. Seriously. I mean, it literally looks like it's just a girl goes out in pretty kind of like if you can imagine some girl who's gone out for Halloween but hasn't really made much effort and just kind of put a nun outfit on, painted her face white, just painted a little bit of fake blood and some eyeshadow, and that's your makeup here. They do a couple of kind of CGI bits, which should be where the reality, where the budget is, just kind of whitening out the eyes and stuff like that, and a little bit of fake blood. But that's it for the special effects. And yeah, it's so ridiculous. I mean, the movie literally is an hour of people arguing and bitching and stuff like that. And then in the last 15 minutes, we actually get something happening. But it's just so ridiculously lowbrow, so ridiculously cheap. And I saw a movie called The Bad Nun, which I thought was bad. But at that point, I hadn't seen this one. Oof. Now, I like a bad movie sometimes, but this is just bad. I mean, I can't believe this is just something that someone thinks is like a real film. It's just so ridiculous. I mean, Shawn C. Phillips, he keeps popping up in these B movies. He's just looking like a real, just kind of like cash grabby type guy. The rest of the cast here, man, don't give up your day job. Acting isn't your thing. Filmmaking isn't your thing. There has to be an arc. There has to be character development. There has to be a storyline. Jesus. I mean, it's just not. I mean, there's things that you could do in low budget films. If you don't have the budget, I've seen examples of low budgeted movies that have been pretty good. I recently reviewed one. The name escapes me. That had a budget of $1,000, and it wasn't a great movie, but they had the makings of a good story at least, and kind of like they had pacing, they had character arcs. This hasn't got anything like that. It is a complete waste of time, and just avoid it. I mean, I don't want to piss on people's chips in regards to kind of like the beginnings of any kind of filmmaking, but it's just there's nothing, absolutely nothing I can say about this movie that I think will appeal to anyone. 1 out of 10. Absolutely avoid this at all costs. Anyway, have you happened to have the misfortune of seeing it? Please leave me a comment and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.